Hey everybody, how's it going today? It's Word here with another video. Let me know what you think about today. I'm going to show you at the start of the day. I have only got one defense, two left to go. Yesterday I showed you already what I'd done at the end of the day, that 320. So I'm going to record this before the intro before the attack is what I mean. It's a little easier to do it that way and to line up the times correctly. But that's what we're doing, bringing in Fireball Rocketloons with 3 days left in the season. I guess 4 technically because today is one of them. And yeah, not so good on defense. We reset, I think, 1,100 or like 1,050, like just outside the top 1K. So we definitely need more than a defense, especially with all these missed defenses. But yeah, I think we're ready to go here. Just make sure we selected Superloons. And yeah, let's hop in the first one. So I hope you guys, enjoyed that little bit of a deep dive into the Flame Flinger. Obviously, still could have, made a little bit more in depth, but I liked the way I did that one. And somebody was asking about, maybe using a recall and like using a short warden charge into like a recall and then setting up a flinger, and that can be good too. I've actually been looking into a recall. A lot of people have mentioned that, so I'll think about it. Maybe try that for next season for a bit, but I'm gonna stick with what I've been running for this season so far. And I don't know. A lot of people also have asked if these are live recorded, like it is. I'm literally doing this attack right now as I'm talking. It's just a simple warden still slowly walking, so I'm not really putting too much thought into it. But yeah, I'm gonna use this fourth invis just to be certain because I really do want that to hit there. I think I missed the fire spitter, but it's okay because I'll be behind it, so I'm not too worried about it. The only reason I actually did that fireball, sometimes it's tough because there's a lot of damage by this monolith section, but in this case it's actually not that bad because of the fact that the fire spitters aren't even facing me. I don't want my warden. Okay, he's actually good. I didn't want him to go too far one direction. I can't even really use a skeleton spell because of the multi-inferno, so I'm going to have to just wait. My warden's going to solo this mono. We should be good here for a little bit, actually. This warden's going to go kind of crazy. Oh, shoot. I want to take down the air defense right there. I'm going to try and... Somebody mentioned what to do with the Rocketloons as a question as well, like, how can they use them better? So I'll try and focus this video on that. I was trying to remember something. I knew somebody had said something. I couldn't remember what it was. But the Rocketloons are used a lot to set up the fireballs. So that's going to include, trimming down defenses that make you require less invis spells. But what it also does is help snipe defenses. So you see right there, I sniped at the air defense because now my baby dragon can go in and get down... this has to be a freeze. I was already raged. I forgot about that. It's fine. But my baby dragon could then, with the air defense down, could go get all that value. Okay, I'm really hoping my king can go take this down. Does it get that? Nice, it does. So I'm going to rage my warden once again going through this section. But yeah, I use the Rocketloons at the start of the attack to either... okay, why are those not going to the queen? That's actually kind of ridiculous. Either to final down for my fireball or set up a flinger or something like that. That's kind of the value at the start of the attack. And then if you want to use them later in the attack, it can be used for stuff like this especially. Like I'm going to use 3 right here to go get down 2 Tesla. And that, didn't actually get the other Tesla. The idea was to trim down defenses so the Royal Champion doesn't waste her spears on these Tesla. I mean, it's only 1 spear, but still they add up. When there's 3 of them right there, 3 more spears is kind of big. So it's kind of saving spear value. It can also be used to funnel heroes into the base. But yeah, at the start of the attack, it's used to set up a flinger or set up a fireball, and that's about it. So I'll try and talk about the Rocketloon usage and have some extra left over. It would be ideal for a good attack. But let's see what we get in this chest. Just a common, come on. All right, power pancakes. Let's get in the next one. Okay, Optimus Prime has an invis rage right here. So hook tower on the left. I think I'll try to get my king into that one. I could try and fireball it, but it's a little risky. I think I'll just come in for this scatter shot fireball from this left side. So what you'll see right here is I don't want to put my healers into this air defense range, but there's also the multi-arch tower at the edge of the base, so I'm going to have to go like right here. It's a little bit scary with the hook tower. It's got a lot of range, so you gotta be a little careful. But things that the Rocketloons can be used for are, actually this is a base like this, right? I'm going to use them right here to set up this flinger. This flinger always gets some amazing value. I'm going to set it up. Warden's still doing fine. Archer minion. I can use a, Valk a lot of the times, but when it's just like that, I think 1 archer is plenty fine. When there's a couple skeletons, it would do enough damage before they take it down. I would just go with a Valk, but this one's looking good. I'll pull more Tesla. There should be one behind the wizard tower. Yep, just in case. But to set up this fireball, I'm going to look, right? So my warden, I want him to take on this whole archer tower compartment, and then if he gets the fire spitter as well, I'll only need invis onto the Expo and multi-arch, and then I'm going to the core. And on this side, now if I take down this mortar, as you see, I only need to invis these 2 buildings together, the air defense, and X-Bow. And just like that, we get a really nice fireball to the core. It should go get the clan castle as long as I didn't miss it, and I think I did with one quake. I'm actually so bad at that. Like, I really need to work on that. So now my warden is walking. Okay, look, there's a Valk. There's some skeletons. I caught it with a Valk. But warden's doing some walking right here. Okay, furnace actually comes out. I think I'm going to go skeleton right here. And I'm going to pull the warden over. I'm going to go for a Sui because I need to try and 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Just going to take down that building. Try and get my king hooked in. So I'm going to use Rocketloons to funnel the archer tower. Baby dragon to funnel the buildings. Now there's a huge funnel set. My heroes are going to make their way in for sure. And I'm hoping my king can get in front of it. It looks like maybe the ice golem is being tanked right now. But honestly, at this point, there's the king ability going through the core. There's a 1 HP hook tower. Shouldn't be pulling anything important. It might pull the ice golem, yeah. So nothing too bad right there. We're still looking really nicely going into this one. At this point, I'm using Rocketloons to search deep in the base for black mines. That's kind of what I do in the middle section of these attacks. And on this base, I think I'm going to go for the Royal Champion right here. I'm going to rage her up. A little bit too far of a lead on that rage, but I want to take down the Ricochet Cannon as well as this Minion Prince. So I'm going to get into Raged Up Druids will really keep the Royal Champion alive. Look at the recovery from those Druids. I didn't need that freeze, especially it actually fully missed. But yeah, as you can see, I have some extra Rocketloons because their purpose was kind of already being used up. I set up the Flinger with them. I set up the Fireball with them, and I didn't really need them elsewhere. I used them right here. You saw in that multi-archer tower to help funnel, but there's a nice 3-star, pretty easy on these bases. Hit the Fireball in the core. And yeah, let's get in the next one. What do we got here? Okay, another comment. Forgot about the chest. All right. Okay, third attack of the day is just a rage core. And people have been doing this because the invis rage bases, obviously, like you just saw, are easy for Fireball. So they just put another rage on the edge to add just a little bit more damage. Makes it just that much harder to 3-star these bases because if you get all that value on a Fireball, it was pretty easy. Now you don't get as much. It can be a little harder. So on this one, I might just go for, I think I'm going to go for a Town Hall Fireball. It's going to be pretty simple to hit and will get me some nice value. So why not go for it? If I get the Scatter Shot, that'd probably be the best Fireball. I might go for that. But yeah, this is one where I might use some Rocketloons to test by this Monolith for traps. I'm probably going to have to rage by this Monolith and Expo, so I'm going to get a rage ready. He's on the move, and he's about to be in range of them, so I'm going to rage him up right here. Yep, there it is. I'm going to take in this X-Bow this Mortar, on the right side, because that'll be less spells invested into the Fireball. I'm going to send a third one in, actually, to try and take out this Wizard Tower. I might need another one. Yeah, just barely. But just trying to trim out the Invis, because who knows where my Warden's going to end up right here. Honestly, at this point, it is a little more value hitting a Scatter Shot, but this is a very easy, just double Invis. It goes to the core. It doesn't get the Inferno Towers. That's what would have been nice from the Expos, or the Scatter Shot, sorry. But I'll still take 2 Fire Spitters, 2 Scatter Shots, and a Rage. Like, that's very good value, so not going to say no to that. The Warden, if he went to the Town Hall, would be really nice. I'm going to see if I can funnel him there. There's an Invis. No way he actually died to that. Okay, that was a little crazy. There's a lot of section on this back end, so I got to be very careful right here. I was just a half second late on that Invis, so that's just on me. I don't want my Queen to go to ability yet, because that's going to need to get some really good value, so I'm really trying to take down this Ricochet Cannon and save the Warden's ability, but we'll see how well we do with that. Okay, not too bad right there. The Queen, I'd like to go outside the base, so I'm going to send the Royal Champion right here to try and funnel her back outside by taking out this section. Okay, nice. She goes around, so that's really good. At this point of the attack, I think I'm going to go Skeleton Spell to help out for the other Royal Champion. Did Clan Castle come out? There it is. Okay. Going to Rage right here. Actually going in for these multi-infernos can be tough. I'm going to freeze the core right there. Really want to get them down to allow my healers to stay up. There we go. That actually worked out really nicely. It's a decent spot to be in for my Royal Champion, but I'm not going to invis her. 2 more Rocketloons on this Archer Tower. Now this whole backside's free. I just got to lock in right now on keeping my Queen alive. She's about to go to ability. And with the Giga Bomb there, it's a little tough. Okay, those Rocketloons actually go get the Expo as well, so that's really good value. The Headhunters snuck in, but they just die right there. So I got 3 Queens left, kind of to triple the backside of this base, and there should do just that. There's an Invis. I got Druids and Healers on them. Going to continue testing for Black Mines. That's what you can do with the Rocketloons later into the attack. We get the Ricochet Cannon down, so even though I lost the Warden, which was entirely my fault, you set up a huge Queen charge and you can still get those triples. I've done it a lot of times. 2 more Rocketloons right here taking out the Wizard Tower, but also testing for the minions on this backside. That's why I spread them out right there. So once again, Rocketloons set up the fireball, and at the backside of the space, they test for black mines, and you can use them to take out defenses like I did for that Expo on this right compartment. So this one's getting a little closer than I thought, but still a triple with 4 seconds remaining. And let's see what we get out of this chest. Hopefully something good for the nice save. Come on, right? Rare? Okay, nothing too great. Elixir. Well, get in the next one. Okay, next attack is a double rage base. This is mostly what I was warming up on today because that's what you find in Legends most of the time, but I hadn't faced any today, so here we go. Okay, I actually see a sweeper bait up here, but I'm looking for the Expos for any flame flinger. Not really seeing it because this left side's covered by mortars and the clan castle. Don't think it's worth it. I'm just going to go for a typical enter from the bottom right here, testing for any warden bait. That's been pretty common. And what I like to do on these bases is if you walk enough left towards this kind of world champion, your fireball, if I take down this air defense, okay, there's a Tesla right there, but should be pretty easy. Like usually my fireball will very easily get into this rage tower because of how far left I am. That taking down the air defense really saves some invis. So you see right there kind of how many spells I used, quite a bit. But I want my warden to continue walking. Honestly, taking down the Expo would be ideal. Mortar's going to drop. Bomb tower and Tesla's a little much. I've used a lot of Rocketloons already, but I do want to get down this Tesla, so that's why. I'll try and pop it right here. That should get it. Okay. Gonna ice block right now. Really nice triple invis. Fireball lands, so definitely worth the wait in my opinion. We're set up now to go into the fire spitter. I don't want my World Champion to face the I don't want my Warden to get the furnace on him or anything. So I'm starting my Sui fairly early on this one. Headhunter, I think a little early. Nope, perfectly timed. Because I want to make sure the log launcher can go in for the clan castle, but mostly that my the furnace I wanted to go towards the Sui and it didn't even do that. That's kind of crazy to me. Okay, King right here, ability. It skipped around the whole outside of the base, so not good. Gonna go with the Druids right here to try and save the Queen as she goes to ability. Okay, everything's kind of frozen right there, so it's not too bad, but I don't want the Warden to be pulled in, so I'm going to use 4 Rocketloons. That's all I got left, but you can use 4 to pull the Warden. I do that like that. Baby Dragon in right here for the enemy Queen will get it. So now that the Warden is kind of cooking this top side, the Queen's in the core, I'm just using the Royal Champion to kind of solo this top side. I'm going to rage her up, because the Warden doesn't need much help. As long as I can help take down the enemy King, which I'm going to try and do with this Headhunter, although the multi-inferno might actually get her down. I'm going to try and invis the Headhunter. Nice, that's huge. That Headhunter right there, that invis spell really saved my Warden, because now that's done enough damage. The World Champion swoops in. I get that done. And yeah, that was a really clutch invis spell. We're swagging a couple of these. So the Rocketloons on this one, I did use plenty to set up this fireball, like plenty. So a little bit of a heavy investment, but that's what they're there for, right? Like, so use them when you need them. And you saw just how many. I think I left myself with only 4 Rocketloons after that. And I think, I should deserve something good from this one. Okay, still a comment. Well, there's all the chests for today, and let's get in the attacks. Okay, this guy's got... When they have in the name their clan code, like, that guy's clearly they're usually a sweat, because you don't just do that as, like, a casual player. But you might, but just not typical. On this one, I almost feel confident getting the multi-arch, but I don't quite. I think I can try and get the multi-arch spitter, like kind of that section though. So I'll stay a little bit left right here, kind of, by this army camp, I think. Yeah, this army camp's a good spot. So I'm going to snipe this down and go on the right side of this army camp. That's hopefully going to allow me... Nice, that went down. I'm going to... Oh, wow, holy bait. So I was actually planning to go in on this side anyway. Just balloon first. Nice. Okay, so he baited both sides. I actually was wondering that. The other side had Teslas, this side had the air bombs for the healers, so good thing we avoided that. I'm hoping my flinger could go into the Tesla and then, or like to the bomb tower, sorry. I'm going to take this down though to be a little more sure. And then, okay, there's a sweeper bait here too. So the problem with it is you need to face it a certain direction to get it to like be invisible, but at the same time when you do that, it exposes it because it shoots the sneezy. So I don't know. They haven't worked phenomenally for me, but might as well. What are you up to?
I just got back from work.
Oh, I see.
Ooh, nice. You got a new board.
Yeah. Trying to fill those.
One thing fell. That's missing a pin.
So everything's so far going perfectly to plan. The baby dragons were like a smidge early. The skeletons were still alive. They almost went to the right, but this flinger actually did go into the fire spitter, so exactly as I was hoping. Sometimes what you can run into on these bases is a little bit of trouble getting through these sections with the ice golems, like where the clan castle is. They can be pretty tough, to be honest. So we're gonna poison the furnace right here. Obviously, got to poison that. The warden still followed pretty far around, but luckily the healers, sometimes they could get in range, so you got to be a little careful of that, but they didn't, so that's good. That might have been in the multi-inferno range, which is a little bit of a mistake. But look at that flinger go crazy, actually. I set up a beautiful one right there. And as I've been mentioning, these Rocketloons in the middle of the attack, I'm going to snipe this, or try and go toward the multi-arch tower. Test deep in this base for any black mines. Look at that, found one right there. There's the king ability, because I saw the spiky ball go into the core, so had to quickly pop that. I don't have a skeleton spell, which would go crazy on the back end, because I did use it on my entry. But Warden 1v1's the gear tower, especially with the healers under rage right here, so I'll let him do that. Gonna go with one Rocketloon since, there's no damage out there. It'll well stay alive, and I should be able to swag my world champion on this one. Gonna go for another Rocketloon to the core since we already found one black mine. I bet you there's more. None yet, though, but Rocketloons, look at them tanking for the monolith even. So you can use them just to tank for defenses as well. I'm gonna go in right here with a little bit heavier Rocketloons to try and make sure I don't time fail this one, but yeah, we should be looking good. All the Tesla were in that one corner, so no corner Teslas. Swagging the world champion in 3 spells comes down to the good use of the Rocketloons there, setting up my flinger and setting up my fireball. Once again, just the two biggest jobs of them. And just to actually talk on the topic of what I've seen in a lot of comments, which is people asking about fireball furnaces, I've said many times, and what I agree on is that typically, okay, this side has you see 2 wizard towers. This side only has 1, so I might be able to set up a flinger if I take out that mortar. Looking at the range of the defenses, kind of that center of the elixir collector is looking like a good spot. Outranges that, outranges that, outranges that. So we should get some nice value. But as I was saying, I got to find a fireball afterwards. I actually haven't even looked at that yet. So nice, we set that up. What I was saying is, okay, typically furnaces, they're good, but you don't have the option to pull the warden. Obviously, most of those people use recall, so then they have that option, but then there's a spell investment. So if we're just thinking raw furnace versus Rocketloon, the Rocketloons you can pull your warden with, the furnaces not so much. You don't have as much control. Plus, the furnace mites, what I found is even on the short charge, like right here, okay, throw 2 furnaces behind the warden to speed him up. What kept happening was they would take down, let's say, this mortar, and then my warden's going to go left, and it's like, well, what if I wanted him to go right? You know what I mean? Like, the fire mites kind of are a little bit random on how they set up the pathing for your warden. So I wasn't a big fan of that. The last thing I was going to say is, like I've been talking about, the amount of Rocketloons I have, sometimes you need to set up these, kind of crazy fireballs or to set up a deep flame flinger with an invis and Rocketloons, and so you don't have as many in a furnace attack. So I really like the versatility. The whole purpose of the Rocketloons in Fireball Rocketloons is to, support your heroes. Okay, nothing's coming out is telling me maybe triple ice golem because there's no furnace, but yeah, the entire purpose is to benefit your fireball, benefit your flame flinger, just really support the heroes in the attack. Okay, it's actually like a mega Rocketloon CC, so it's a little scary. Gonna fireball the core first, gonna poison right here and freeze probably. Don't know if all that death damage is still gonna get to me. I'm actually gonna rage up just to try and be confident. Yeah, so we're good. At this point, there's not a lot of damage but this right side, so I'm going to try and set up into the right side because there's a lot of DPS right here on the left side. It's an easy takedown. Don't know where my warden's going yet. But yeah, this one's going to be a little slower of a start, so I do got to go a little bit right here, but we should be fine. That should be pretty easy to take down, obviously, if the baby dragon doesn't die. Okay, warden's good, and he is going to the left. Ice golem's going to be okay right here. Not amazing, not terrible. I'm going to rage up my warden through this pretty heavy section. He survives that nicely. King, I'm going to pop ability right here as it's on the mono and we'll open up the core. And then I think I'm going to go with the World Champion on this back end to try and finish it off. But yeah, I recommend going with the Rocketloons. It is a little tougher than the Furnaces, mostly because of, like I mentioned, they're a little more surgical, so the use, like where you use them, is more important. So you have to be intentional with that. But I do think in that case, it's just that much stronger. So I think it's worth learning it. Obviously, end of the season, don't do it in these last 3 days. It'll be very tough. I remember the first day I did it was awful. But you see right here, I'm swagging 2 hero abilities, 3 invis spells, both druids, 7 Rocketloons, because on this one I didn't need barely any. I took out 1 mortar to set up the flinger with 2 Rocketloons, and then didn't need any to set up the fireball. So didn't use them as a lot, and that's just sometimes all that you need them for, but nice triple. Okay, a giant rage core, and the crazy thing to me is like, I'm resetting top 1000 pretty much. Okay, 1010 if you want to be specific, but um, like, and these bases are dropping like pretty easily. So for a tough, supposedly tough section, I know the game's obviously out of state where it's not as difficult, but like, I don't know, just the ease that the bases are dropping is really consistent. Even when I lose my warden, like the worst thing that can happen to me, obviously missing a fireball would be worse, but losing my warden is one of the worst things that can happen, and I still get the 3-star is like, okay, come on, you know what I mean? How can I not use this army? So honestly, the only reason I switched to it in the first place was I was just not having fun, like using all these root riders. I play hard mode, and so I use them a lot in there because they're better, but in normal mode, I have the ability to use this army, and I just find it so much more fun. And the reason I play this game is for fun, right? Like, I enjoy playing it. So, yeah, I want to make sure I keep with that. On this one, I think I want to try, if I can, get all the way into the builder hut in the core. So this fireball is going to be a little deeper, one of my deeper ones that I've gone for. I'm trying to take down this archer tower, so I went with one baby dragon because I thought I might have been able to get it with just that. Don't think so anymore, though. So, going to go in for the Rocketloons. Okay, Headhunter's in. Was keeping an eye on that. And at this point, I think I can hit it. It will go there before the mono. So after this goes down, right there, invis, invis, invis. Okay, really strong setup right there. We take down the entire core. That's a beautiful fireball. The only thing we don't get is the clan castle, but with the value I got, that's plenty fine. I like to snipe out these ISO monos. Not so many bases have this anymore. They're like a little bit thicker, like they've got other buildings with it, but that's what I like to do. And as I mentioned, right here, okay, I'm gonna go for this. It will pull the clan castle if there's a furnace, which is a little risky, but I want to make sure I don't forget my king. Okay, we're ready. We poison it right away. And what you can do is, if you're worried about a fire mite jumping on your healers, you just invis the healers and make sure it targets your warden. In this case, I saw them already going for the healers, for the warden. We don't want them on the healers. So I was good. Don't need to waste the invis, but king, yep, funneled back in jest. Queen's not, though, so a little unfortunate, but king ability will probably pull her in. And yeah, I just kind of continue searching for those black mines. At this point, this one, yeah, goes pretty deep. Now I know I've searched everything into, the air sweeper, that I'm not going to need another one until I get past that. And by that point, the base is gone, so I don't really need to search anymore. I'm probably going to swag these last 6. I'm going to rage here because my warden with an invis will be fine. He'll pass the damage off to the other heroes. I'm actually going to invis him to force the king to go to my queen. Yep, because going to my queen, king, and yetis is way easier to deal with. My warden's actually going to join in with them now. But queen ability's in, headhunters are in, and it's dead. So there's nothing left. I'm going to freeze right here. Okay, just based on the time, 30 seconds, might as well use the world champion. As I said, I like to swag, but at this point, I just need to 3-star more than I need to really prove to you how strong this is. I think you can see better by the consistency of 320s than you can with like an overpowering triple. Because in Legend League, at the end of the day, it's not about how overkill can you make one attack. It's how often can you triple every attack, you know what I mean? So there's a nice 3-star, and let's get in the last one. Okay, we're in for the final attack, and I might have some people spectating me because I told my clan that I'm going for the 320, but you know what time it is, right? Time to buckle up, and let's get in for this final hit. So I actually went out to go get clan castle troops and saw that I was taking a defense, so I spectated it. I ended up getting the defense, so that's actually really awesome, and I'm obviously excited to get the defense. So we're going to be plus 19 at least if I triple this with one more defense. I haven't gotten any swags, although a lot of people have, so that's a little frustrating, obviously, if everybody else is getting one and I haven't been able to. But we're still locked in. I think on this base, if I can, I want to charge this ricochet cannon. This is why I'm letting my warden go. And charge the expo. I know the expo is a little deep, a little bit maybe ambitious, but I want to try. I don't want to pull a clan castle, but I also want to get the mortar. I don't know if that's possible. Yeah. Not really. I'm going to try once more. Don't get the furnace. Okay, nice. Furnace didn't come out, if there even is one. Going to go with the second headhunter. Really want to burst that down. Now we're on archers telling me I don't need to ice block even. This is going to be stalled up for good. I'm going to try and go 1, 2. The reason I wanted to get the expo was so that I could fireball. And I didn't quake the expo, but I needed to go down. Not sure if that value was worth it. I think it is because all I miss is a multi. And I get the clan castle and monolith, which I think is definitely worth it. But probably going to find some traps in here. This is the use of the Rocketloon once again. Yep, look at that. Pulling a black mine. Now I know my healers on this whole path up until my warden is probably around this wizard tower, because then the healers would be by that tombstone. There's no traps, so I'm going to be good for a while. And I'm probably going to try and wall break in. That was definitely too early. Oh, no, it still reached. Okay, that was a little risky. Didn't need to do that. Now I'll check the wizard tower probably just so I can be safe, because you have so many to use. So it does become something that I feel like I spammed and used a little bit too sparingly in most attacks. But at the same time, there is just so many, so you just use them. But the queen is going in right here. Got to keep an eye on the warden because the spitters can do damage. They're not like always crazy damage, but I'm gonna use 2 baby dragons, which can pull my warden, so I gotta be a little careful. On this one, I don't want the king to go outside. No way. Okay, actually, at least I got his ability in, but I was hoping he would go inside itself. Actually, I'm gonna rage the queen to try and really burst through this section. Probably gonna freeze up for now that crusher mortar because it can do a lot of damage. I don't want it on my queen without the raged up druids on her yet. Warden's still doing fine for now. There's an invis. I'm going to rage up. There's the queen ability. I could just go Royal Champion in the core. I'll just do that. She'll go take down the Fire Spitters and the Multi-Inferno, which are the only threats to my Warden. Nothing else can really do enough damage to him. They go down. And yeah, we're going to crush this base. You see the Rocketloons just kind of continuing to sprinkle in and, check for those black mines deep in the base because the boogers can pull red mines but not black. And once again, we're going to swag 5 of them. So you do have a lot in most attacks if you use them right because you don't need any extras, but I usually like to use extra to be safe because we like getting those 3 stars. But there's a nice 320. Plus 20 on the minimum probably might not even get me into 1K because of all the misses and stuff, but I'm so close. I'm right there with 3 days, continuing the offense streak, so doing really well this season. Really appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you learned about how to use the Rocketloons today. That's what we focused on. I like you can make full videos breaking down this in depth, but the thing is, then that doesn't encompass Legend League. I'd have to make friendly challenges. It's a whole different video kind of. I'd rather show you guys what's real, right? You got 30 seconds to plan. This is how to do it. So set up your fireball, set up a flinger if there's one, and go get those 3 stars. Until then, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.